Hello everyone, and welcome to this super easy beginner class. I'm just going to do a quick recording tonight, and then of course if we have any feedback that says we have a lot of questions, I will kind of go over that and we'll do a live video or a live class for anything regarding super easy simplicity systems. So for those of you guys who don't know, my name is Jennifer Baker and I am a coach inside of several different companies who just currently works with a reasonably small, large group of people teaching and learning kind of how to trade Forex, indices, cryptos, and the like. Having said that, everything we discussed tonight, these classes and calls are recorded for future and training purposes. I guess I don't need that on here. But please know that nothing we discuss here in just a second is going to be considered legal, financial, or investing advice. And of course, last but not least, I practice high risk, high reward trading. You can follow similar steps safer, slower. You can use better risk to reward management. You can use smaller lot sizes and obviously different pairs, different time frames to kind of have comparable results in terms of compounding. So for those of you guys who have not seen this before, I feel like this encapsulates kind of my favorite thing in terms of compounding. It's literally what we're doing, obviously on a different scale. Most people wouldn't realize that when you double a single penny for 31 days straight, it equals over $10 million. This totally is the kind of the picture of what compounding really is all about. So I kind of always have this on here. And of course, last but not least, for those of you guys who have not seen this, how to compound to 5, 6, and even 7 figures in terms of trading. So I'll leave this up for a second and then we'll go ahead and go over to the charts. Okay, so first things first, we need to go over the trade we called on August 17th. Well, not called, but we did look over on August 17th at the 0 o'clock candle. So it's technically kind of the 18th for UTC time, for server time. And that was odd NZD. We were looking for the potential buy. It had pulled back a little bit. We were waiting for it to break this fractal right here. As you can see, that did play out. Okay, however, we didn't get the full ADR. So if you look over here, you can see that the smallest the ADR got in all of this time frame, if we round down, is 48. So we didn't hit that, which means that trade would have been a loss. I mean, that's a horrible way to start this call off, but we need to be honest, right? We need to look at trading as a whole. And we've got enough of these videos and kind of a history that says 7,000 pips, $7,000, $8,000, $6,000 in a single kind of 1 hour call to say that that's okay to have some losses. So this one does equate to be about an 80 to 90 pip loss, depending on where your entry was, right? If we were waiting for the break of that fractal, you're looking at least about 90 pips. And that kind of goes with the territory. So wasn't a great week, plus it just pushed down another level. We still have a lot of buying potential on this pair, but simply put, it's just not ready yet. So if I kind of go down to the 4 hour, we can see this huge down move. We have yet to kind of pull back up. Is this the moment it's going to happen? We don't have the confirmation yet to decide that, so for right now we're skipping this. However, there are a couple of trades that look like they are kind of setting up kind of nicely. So as you can see, I have a few highlighted pairs on my little Swiss Army knife on my tool down here. These are some pairs that I'm looking at for this week. They are trades that I am going to be entering and will be managing according to the rules we already have set, right? So to start off at the beginning, kind of the first one, I am using the 1 hour time frame for these trades. I'm going to scroll over. This is Australian US dollar. We're on the 1 hour time frame. No, I can't see. Of course, we have our simplicity sell signal here. We have broken a trend line. We've retested a little bit. So now we're waiting for a break of this fractal, the most recent fractal. If I get that break of the fractal, my pending order is going to activate. I'm going to have my first take profit in and around 1 ATR, right, for this pair, which is, where is that? I know it's on here, 1 ATR, so 10 pips, right? It's actually my first take profit is technically 1.5 ATR, but either way, in terms of how you guys are doing it, if you don't have the same access to a manager that I have, you can also say, hey, I'm going for at least 1 ADR and take the smallest of the 3 numbers. This way you're not kind of being overzealous, you're not being greedy, as they say in the market. And then of course your stop loss is substantially above kind of structure. You need to give it room to make a spring. Obviously at that 1 ADR, you're making a decision to either A, protect some of your trade, meaning scale out. So if you have, for example, a standard on this, you would close out half of it or 75% of it or 25% of your trade. And then let the rest run, preferably with some management, all the way up to 3 to 4 ADR, ATR, depending on how you are trading, what time frame you're trading, and whatever rules you have set for yourself. So looking for a sell on Australian US dollar. As I go to the next pair, you guys are going to see we already have 4 US dollar trades that look beautiful, that look like they have that ideal setup happening to get your 180R out of it. Perfect, right? But we can't take all US dollar trades. So you're gonna need to do your own due diligence, check your news, have your reasons for entering, and pick at max 2 of these US dollar pairs. We can't take all, 6, for example, US dollar trades this week. We can, and then obviously sometimes it's gonna work out beautifully. But I assure you, the time that it doesn't work out beautifully, what's gonna end up happening is your account goes bye-bye, no more money, it's all gone, it's blown. It's horrible risk management to be over leveraged per currency. So with that said, Euro US dollar 1 hour time frame. Again, we have a sell signal on our simplicity, right? I'm waiting for a break of this fractal. My stop loss is going to be up here, kind of above the structure, above my kind of hot zone. So not here, here. And of course, I'm looking at the ADR. So I'm going for at least one ADR on this pair, rounding down to the smallest number from the week, 4-week, and 12-week average, right? Next, and my overall target actually on this one, on a couple of these, is kind of right where price broke out. So this is that perfectly lines up, and you'll see that's the case with most of these US dollar trades. So JU, let me zoom out a little bit. Again, kind of same setup. I drew my trend line using the line chart because I see it better that way. It takes out all the noise. For me, it's very simple. You don't need a lot on here whatsoever. I could literally trade with just the line chart and my fractals, maybe one other thing, and then just good management, but that's neither here nor there. So with that said, simplicity has given us another sell signal. We're waiting for price to move in the right direction and prove that that sell signal is accurate. So once I break out of this area, again, I'm taking the smallest of my ADR, my average between my 1-week, 4-week, and 12-week ADRs, and I'm using that as my major target. So from where price is currently at to where price broke out before is about 113 pips. You'll notice that's really within range. It's a perfect kind of setup. No guarantee, stop losses at or above structure. NZD/USD is the next one. I'm looking for a sell on this. Again, beautiful kind of trend line from where price is currently at. I'm looking to come all the way down here, about 250, well, I'll say about 188 to 250 pips in total. But again, I'm making a decision to protect this trade, to close out of a portion or apply a trailing stop somewhere in and around my 1 ADR. I'm usually taking the smallest of the 3 numbers just so I can guarantee and prove in the next several weeks that this is happening the way we're saying it's happening. So with that in mind, great setup, great way to be. We broke out of that trend line, we came back up and retested, and of course now we're pushing in the right direction. So we're waiting for the break of the fractal after this time now. Next is odd JPY. First thing I'm going to notice is that we don't have a sell signal on this yet. However, I still do like this setup. I'm going to zoom out to show you again, same kind of trend line setup that we have going on. Double top formation, right? So we broke down, came back up and retested, and now of course we're pushing down. So what I'm gonna wanna see is a break of this fractal, right? A break of this fractal, and again, my first take profit is gonna be about 65 pips is where I'm gonna be either A, scaling out of a portion of my position, B, applying a trailing stop, C, moving my stop loss into profit, or D, kind of closing out my trade. So overall, you're looking to take this all the way down from where price is currently at, from the break of that fractal, down to approximately 80.41 in terms of price point. Beautiful target, approximately 100 pips, great way to be, a great potential setup. Euro NZD, we do have a buy signal here. Again, beautiful kind of setup in terms of trend line down, right? We broke out, we came back down and retested, and now we have a signal. So this one is actually setting up kind of currently. We've got our signal here, and look, we are already pushing back up. So once we break this fractal, you have a confirmation to go. How high up are we going from where price is currently at? That's about 170 pips, which this is a faster moving pair. So this has tons of room to give you what you need to get out of this. Even if we only come up to previous structure, that's enough for you to at least protect your trade, have made some money, and been happy that day, right? That's definitely not a bad way to be. We're probably going to get a reaction somewhere in this zone from here to here. We're going to probably break through, retest before we continue, or break through and then continue in the downward direction. Either way, that's enough of a target for you to say, hey, I won my trade, I got my money, and I went out with my day. So again, not a bad way to be. GBP odd. This one, like Australian JPY, does not have our signal yet. However, we have a double bottom. Got a nice wick rejection. Okay, we pushed down, we failed to make a lower low again. We wicked down, kind of sprung everybody out of this trade, and now we're sitting here. So even though we don't have our signal yet, that's okay. We know that we can either A, once we get the signal, or B, once we break above here, this, again, great setup from here all the way to where price broke out before is 115 pips. A little small on the ADR, but still within our budget, right? This is within our range for where we need to go. So overall, great setup, great potential trade. Not much else to look at for tonight. We know that there's been, the last week was NFP, so kind of a lot has been happening. But with that said, take a look at these trades. Make sure that they line up with your rules. If they don't line up, you should not take them. If they do, take them or take them in a demo and just test this theory out. Test to see if this actually works. Because if you can show yourself, hey, I can get 200 or 300 pips a week in an hour once a week and collect upon that and have a really good management in place, you won't have to worry about any single thing else. So other than that, I hope you guys all have an amazing night. As always, if you like this content and want to see more, please make sure you like, comment, share, and whatever to this video. If you have certain topics you'd like to discuss, put them in the comments below, and then we will try to get back to you as soon as possible. Otherwise, a happy Tuesday. I hope you have a great day, and God bless.